I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sam.
And we're Envy Board Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at the expansions to Raiders of the North Sea. We're going to take a look at both the Hall of Heroes as well as the Fields of Fame. Raiders is designed by Shem Phillips and published by Garfield Games as well as Renegade Games, and the art is done by the Miko. The base game is a 2 to 4 player game that plays in 60 to 80 minutes, but with the expansions you can play up to 6. So let's take a look at how it plays and we'll come back and give you our final thoughts.
Okay, so for this overview, we're just going to be looking at the expansions for Raiders of the North Sea. If you would like to see the how-to for the base game, check out Nick and Vic's video on Raiders of the North Sea. But for this video, we're just going to focus on the 2 expansions. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with actually the Hall of Heroes expansion. Now this expansion adds a number of things. For instance, we will focus mostly here for the Hall of Heroes. But one thing I do want to point out is that with this expansion, you will get player boards for every player. This is a great little organizational thing to use. It's really nice to be able to see how many spaces you have available for your crew. Just a constant reminder that you can only have 5. Have spots for quests that will be explained in this expansion, as well as little reminders as to the limits that you can have of specific resources, and a spot for your worker. So, in Hall of Heroes, the main addition here is going to be the Mead Hall you see at the bottom of the board. Here, players are going to go, and this will be the primary way to be able to take quests, and you'll be able to do what's called Charm the Crowd. And you will be able to earn mead here. So in this expansion, mead is a very unique resource in that it is essentially liquid courage. So when you are going raiding to different outposts or monasteries, you will be able to spend mead in order to increase your strength temporarily, but you do have to spend it before you actually roll any combat dice. The other thing that happens in Hall of Heroes is as you go out and you are raiding, after you are completed raiding, each spot will be filled with a quest. And these quests will vary based on the pictures in the background, the strength value in the top right corner, as well as the rewards at the bottom. Now, only ever 1 quest goes each spot after it's raided. But if you come to the Mead Hall, you can fulfill any one of these quests. And how you do that is you are going to discard from your hand that number of strength in order to gain the rewards. So for this one example, you have to get rid of at least 6 power. So I can get rid of this 2 and this 4 and spend that to gain this tile. And then what you would do is you would take that tile and you would place it on top of your player board. Okay? And this will keep track. So the more you get, the better. Now, once you have this image, you're going to be trying to collect 3 of a kind. And once you do that, you will be able to collect one of these reputation tiles. You just go ahead and grab this and you'll go up there with the rest of your quest tiles, but you will also gain these benefits. As you can see, some will give you resources, some will give you extra armor, possibly extra actions like drawing additional cards, but then you will also be able to come to the Mead Hall in order to get additional fighters. So all you have to do when you come here, if you want to charm the crowd, is choose which card you'd like to take. If you take this one, you'll get the card as well as the resources that are listed above. Then everything will slide over and you'll refill. Let's see. Other things that come in this expansion, since it does come with another player color, it also comes with these multipliers so that if you have too many of a certain resource, you can use this. And it comes with a bunch of new cards, including hero cards. Okay, next we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Fields of Fame expansion. So I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. This board comes in this expansion, which will go alongside. And what's going to happen in this one primarily is going to be a couple different things that you'll get from this expansion. So one thing that will happen in this expansion is that there are Jarls. And how do you fight a Jarl? Well, what's going to happen is that just like with the mead, you will also add these Jarl tokens as you're putting out plunder. So I might not have explained that earlier, but mead will be put out as plunder, so will these. And whenever you go and raid, and there are one of these tokens or more, what you're going to do is you're going to have an option to kill, subdue, or flee from a Jarl. And there's a reminder because you will have one of these boards that let you know what to do. So if you choose to kill a Jarl, what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at the Jarl's strength, and you are going to have to take wounds, which look like this, equal to the strength plus 1. And you will be able to put those wounds onto your crew up to as much as their strength is. So if this card is a strength of 3, I will be able to put up to 3 wounds on it. However, those wounds will then decrease its strength value. So if it has 3 wounds and its strength is a level 3, it's essentially 0 strength. Now, if you choose not to kill the Jarl, or actually if you do kill him, you will move up this fame track, which is also new with this expansion, which is going to give you another way to earn victory points. Also, if you want to subdue instead of kill, you will take wounds equal to the strength minus 1. So you'll do that the exact same way, and then you will have to pay the cost for that Jarl. So if we're looking at this one, you'd obviously have to pay the 3 coins, and then he will go into your crew so long as you have space. Or the third option is going to be to flee. So you can just discard the Jarl instead of attacking or subduing him, but you will cost you either a fame or a victory point. And one of the last few things with this expansion is that we already kind of talked about the fame track, but it incentivizes you to kind of go above and beyond when it comes to strength when you're raiding. So as you can see, certain raid spots will have opportunities for you to score victory points based on how much strength you have. Before, there wasn't really an incentive to try to go over 12, just because that's the most victory points that you can get. However, now, if you were to go up to 16 for this one, let's say for this township, you would get 1 fame. If you were 8 over, you'd get 2, and 12 over, you would get 3. And this is when you move up this track. So that really kind of pushes you to be able to do a little bit more and kind of go above and beyond for when you go raiding. Also, as you can see on this expansion, it adds these 3 additional raiding spots that are townships. One last thing that comes with this expansion is going to be, well, one, you can get a 6-player, as well, but then you'll also have these Valkyrie dice. These essentially just replace the red dice, and as you can see, they have some Valkyries on them that could make it a little bit harder and could actually kill off more of your crew. So that is how you will add both the Hall of Heroes expansion as well as the Fields of Fame. So let's take it back up top and see our final thoughts.
Okay, so that was how to play the expansions to Raiders of the North Sea. So first we'll jump in and talk about what we like, what we didn't like, and give a rating, maybe even do some comparison of which expansion we like better.
Okay.
And we could probably even rate Raiders as well.
Okay.
So first, let's kind of jump into what did you like, what did you not like about the expansions?
I thought it was cool. It added like some extra stuff. I was a fan of going on the quests. I thought that was a cool part of the game. So I kind of focused on that. The Jarls, I did some of those and fought them. But I think you really had to have your strength built up for that. So I tried to do like both of the expansions to kind of like see what it was like.
Right.
But yeah, I think I like the quest probably the best.
You like kind of getting that 3 of a kind to get those reputation tiles and, you know, really move up that quest track, which is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I liked, I think my biggest thing that I like most about the expansions is just how much it opens the game up. You know, with base Raiders, it feels a lot like you're kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's really just a race as to who can get up there and raid the fortresses first or the monasteries and kind of, you know, get those big time spots as quickly as possible. Whereas this game, yes, it's still raiding, but there's a lot more options for you to go and get a Jarl or defeat a Jarl and get those, move up that fame track, or you can do the quests that you were doing, or even, you know, adding the mead, which is really nice, and helping you to get the strength. And I like that the Fields of Fame with the Jarl has where if you go over the strength, you can actually move up that fame track. So I just like that it kind of gives you that incentive to really beef up your crew and go out to try and get the most you can out of that raid. But then, yeah, I like that idea of being able to subdue a Jarl or defeat him and move up. And so I like to kind of focus on just killing as many Jarls as I could.
It's kind of nice that you have options too.
Yeah.
You don't have to just kill them. Like
Right.
you can subdue, or well, if you're fleeing, you might
Right.
you're not really gaining anything, but
Yeah.
yeah, you have the option.
Right. And so, I mean, I think it takes Raiders to another level. As Raiders for a base game, you know, I thought it was fine, but I think if you add the expansions, it really opens up the options that you have. And so, yeah, so that's my thoughts on just like the mechanics and everything. But if you had to pick just one of the expansions, which would you do? Would you do the Hall of Heroes with the mead and the quests, or would you do the Fields of Fame and being able to kind of go after the Jarls and have that extra ability to gain fame if you go over in strength?
Probably Hall of Heroes.
Okay.
I think I would
Because you
prefer.
like the quest so much.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think, for me, well, I mean, I think that is rough. I think I'll have to go with, I don't know. I think I like them the same. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'd love to just have both of them. If I had to pick one, I like the Jarls because I like being able to go and fight like a boss kind of thing. So I would pick that one, but just because it gives me more incentive to go out with a lot of strength and trying to really like bash in the fortress and get those extra glory points, or move up that fame track, I mean. And so, yeah, but they are both really good. So if you were to rate the expansions as a whole for Raiders of the North Sea, where would you put it? Give me like an overall rating, and then
Of just Raiders without the expansions, or with like.
So yeah, let's go with that. What would you rate Raiders without the expansions, and then
Versus
what would you
having
rate
it?
it with them? Yeah.
Okay. I would probably give Raiders by itself like a 5 out of 10.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And then with the expansions, I would probably give it a 7.
Okay. So
I thought it
really
made
bumps
it
up.
more interesting because you can do more. Whereas just Raiders just by itself, like I feel like it does, you are kind of doing the same thing over and over again.
Right.
And I think this like just expands it. Like you're able to do more.
Right.
So
I think for me, Raiders as a base game is a good solid 7 for me as just like a base game, maybe 6.5, 7. You know, with the expansions, it definitely bumps it up to an 8 for me. I think, like you're talking about, it just really opens up your options, and you can go anywhere with it, like the offerings, the quests, the Jarls, you know, raiding, like everything gets you points because it's just a giant point salady game. But now it's not just a race to one thing. Like somebody can focus on doing one thing, somebody could focus on going after the Jarls, someone could focus on the quests. And so it's not as much as we're all trying to do the same thing, you just happen to do it a little bit better than I did.
Yeah. You know, I like doing the offerings. So,
Right.
I mean, and kind of like just mixing and matching like what you want to do, and not just being like, I have to hardcore raid like the whole time. I mean,
Right.
it is called Raiders, but like when you think about it, Vikings do other things besides just raid.
Well, I mean, that's what they're known for.
Well, that's true. Well, I mean,
So
rating, but also, you know, the whole offerings thing. I think that's cool
Right,
too, and the
yeah.
whole quest, because that's part of like Viking culture and, you know, just the different things you can do.
right. So yeah, so those are our thoughts on Raiders of the North Sea and both expansions. Let us know what you think. What do you think of Raiders without the expansions, and what do you think of Raiders with the expansions?
Mhm.
And if you could only pick one, which one would it be? I think a lot of people right now are talking about, ooh, do I get Raiders of the North Sea or Raiders of Scythia? And you know, which one would it be? For me, I'd be like, ooh, if you don't have either of them, I would say go Raiders of Scythia. But if you have Raiders of the North Sea with the expansions, I don't think you necessarily need Raiders of Scythia. I think it's actually a better game with the expansions. But who knows? Maybe they'll come out with stuff for Raiders of Scythia. So a lot of interesting conversation there, just on what your preference might be.
Mhm.
And also, I love this art a little bit better than Raiders of Scythia. But let us know what you think. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to NB Board Gaming and click that little bell icon so you get notifications whenever we post videos. But yeah, give us your thoughts in the comments. We'd be happy to read them and you know, see what you guys think. Maybe we're in the minority. Who knows? So.
Yeah, maybe. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.